My name is Randy Rubenstein, and welcome to the Mastermind Parenting Podcast. At Mastermind Parenting, we're on a mission to support strong-willed kids and the families that love them. You're listening to the Mastermind Parenting Podcast with Randy Rubenstein, and welcome to today's show. Well, hi guys. Have you had a good week? I know spring break is in full effect for many people. I cannot believe it's already March. And I can't believe I'm a person that says stupid things like that. But really, it's like the older I get, the more I'm like, what is happening? Why is everything on fast forward? It's just crazy to me. So I want to talk this week about, I just want to kind of tell you a story something interesting that happened to me recently. And I just was thinking about this person, and I thought, I'm going to record a podcast episode about this person. So I had, I don't want to say an old client, but an old client, somebody who I worked with years ago, reach out to me as she does. She's so good about keeping in touch. She's one of those people. I'm not that person. And I love it when people are that person because it makes me not feel so bad. So she reached out, sent me an email, wanted to catch up. And this is someone that, for those of you who have read my book, The Parent Gap, that came out several years ago, one of the chapters was about her. And of course, I used a pseudonym and didn't use her real name. And so it was, for any of you who have read The Parent Gap, it was the chapter about the mom who came to me and realized that the thing that she didn't realize it, but after we coached together for some time, what we really got to was that she had a deep desire to be the mother that she wished she had had. And so it was a mother-daughter relationship. Okay. So she reached out to me and she asked to catch up, and we met for coffee. So, and I don't do lunch or coffee. Like, I shouldn't even talk about myself in this way because I'm going to sound like the lamest person on the planet. I don't love meeting for coffee or lunch. So if I am meeting for coffee or lunch, it's because this is somebody that is really important to me. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to meet for coffee. In real life, I'm going to go, I'm going to put on clothes, like clothes that you wear out into the world. And I am going to do this. I'm going to meet for coffee. So we meet for coffee to have a catch up. And when she initially came to me, her daughter was in 8th grade. It was actually March of her daughter. I remember it. I remember exactly where I was when she called me. And this is when I was working one-on-one with clients. I think it was before my company was even called Mastermind Parenting. I hadn't trademarked my method yet. And somebody referred her to me. So she reaches out to me. I'm laying on my lawn chair in my backyard, and it's the afternoon. My kids are still young enough that they're doing homework, and I take the call. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon, and which I didn't typically do, but I just, it just kind of worked out. So I take the call. I'm laying on this lawn chair. And when she came to me, it was all about her daughter who was struggling in math. So here's this mom all those years ago who comes to me because she was actually referred to me by her daughter's math tutor. Okay. So her daughter's struggling in math, and this mom is just, she's just at her wit's end. They're providing all the resources, but the child's digging her heels in and she's resistant, and she goes to the tutoring sessions, but she's not really putting in the work. And no matter how much they talk about it, her daughter just keeps behaving in ways where she's just shut down, sort of being difficult, moody, and extremely resistant to all of her mom's efforts to help her do better in math, right? And the thing is, and the reason I think this story is important is, on many levels, it's that her daughter was not really a strong-willed kid like many kids that, we see in my mastermind or my oldest child. She really wasn't. She was just a regular kid rebelling against controlling tactics, right on time, right? Like 8th grade, tween, moving into the high school, teenager years. Like that's what happens. A lot of times we have these kids that are great, compliant little soldiers. And then, teenage rebellion exists for a reason. So she's on the precipice of high school and she's right on time. She's digging her heels in and she's like, no, I'm going to study for math the way I want to study for math. And if I don't get the grades that you think I should be getting, too bad, so sad. I, don't care. Don't care. So the daughter, she really had always been this rule following, reserved little girl. And now she was using math as this tiny way to rebel, right? She was refusing to get on board. She was refusing to do all the things her mom thought she should do to bring up her grade. And mom was absolutely panicked. She'd never had this. She's never seen this kind of behavior. She didn't know what to do. She was beside herself. Right. And mom was future tripping and going down this rabbit hole. Like she's not going to be ready for high school and she's not going to, she needs to bring up her grades because when she gets it, she's not going to be in the honors classes and she's going to public high school. And this is going to affect her trajectory for how she, what her high school transcript's going to be and what colleges she's going to get into. Right. This really could greatly impact her daughter's chance on this path to get into a prestigious college. So mom was just panicking, right? So when she came to me, she just really wanted to learn better tools to, air quotes, get her daughter on board with all of mom's ideas of what would set her daughter up for future success. Okay. And it was all very well intentioned. Here mom is like devoting her time to trying to help her daughter to be successful, paying for tutors, looking for resources. Like she really was well intentioned. But the daughter sensed her mom's anxiety and sort of this sneaky desire to control her. Mom didn't know she was trying to be controlling. And daughter sensed that control. Just do it my way. Just do it this way. This is how you should do it. I think many of us can resonate. Like we know things. We've got some wisdom. And we're like, why won't you just listen to me? All I want to do is help you. See? And so I think this is a great example because I use the term strong-willed. And yes, we have some kids that come to us that are strong-willed from the get-go. And also, we have lots of kids who display strong-willedness when they sense control is on the scene. Okay? So even though mom's intentions came from a loving place, and even though she truly wanted the best for her daughter, that control feels slightly manipulative. And the child senses our anxiety and our agenda. Okay? So as I got to know mom better, right, and I learned more about her story through our coaching relationship, and she really started to trust me, it turned out she didn't have the best relationship with her. Her mom had passed away. But when her mom was alive, and especially when she was a kid and a teenager, she didn't have the best relationship with her, right? And when this mom was navigating her teen years and academic decisions, she did it separately from her mom. She didn't trust her mom. Her mom wasn't her person, right? She had been an amazing tennis player and a very academic, she was a very driven student. But what she did was she sought out all kinds of other mentors besides her mom or her parents to offset the lack of support she felt from her own mom. And now that she found herself being the one in the mom role, she really had a deep desire to be different for her daughter, right? She wanted to be the mom she'd wished she had had. And her current methods were accomplishing the opposite of that. Her daughter was rebelling and shutting her out and shutting down. I'll never forget, she would tell me stories about how, like, at dinner, it's just radio silence, radio silence. Her daughter wouldn't share about her day. You know, when mom would ask questions, how was your day? Or try to, be interested, fine. One word answers, just totally shut down. She didn't tell her anything. She was shutting her out of her life. And mom sensed that. So you fast forward to our coffee catch up. Okay. Her daughter is now a senior in college. So that was in 8th grade. And now her daughter it's March of her senior year in college. And during our coffee, it was funny. Her daughter calls her. First, she texted her, and then she calls her. So this daughter that had been shut down, one word answers, not telling mom anything about her life. She, mom was like, oh, hold on. She's calling me. She goes to college out of state. And you could just see the delight in this woman's face. Like, it was it was such a gift. I was like, okay, I'm so glad I came for this coffee. I mean, plus I love this mom, but it was such a gift to be a fly on the wall of her having a conversation with her daughter. And her daughter had called her just to ask for mom's advice on some pretty minor issue that she was dealing with. Right. And right there, she took 3 minutes or something. Mom was just like helping her think through the problem and problem solve. And she wasn't telling her exactly what to do. She was asking questions, and she was, daughter was open to hearing what mom thought. She was asking, what do you think I should do? And they were just problem solving together. And it was just so cool to witness, because the mom just had such a huge smile across her face. And after the call, she said, whenever she calls me to help her figure something out, she said, I often think of you, Randy. She said, you helped me become her person. You helped me become her person. She turns to me, and her daughter's very independent, like has done amazing in college, has had a wonderful experience. And she's not running back to mom for every little thing, right? But when she's facing something, right, even though she's fiercely independent, she calls her grounded grown-up, her person, her mom, to help her problem solve. She knows she doesn't have to do it all alone. She can resource her own mother, right? And they are so close. And that's what mom was saying. She was saying, I never thought this day would come, but I can say I am honestly her person. And it's just amazing. Nothing feels better than that, right? Nothing feels better. And I looked at the mom and I said, well, it appears that you're what we call a cycle breaker. You've become the mother you wished you'd had, right? And I want y'all to think about this, right? We look at our kids when they're displaying strong-willed behavior, and we think, oh, how do I get them to just knock it off and stop all this ridiculousness? But what if you looked at the strong-willed behavior as a call to more, right? Maybe you're a cycle breaker too. Okay. And I think, looking at your story, I think it's really helpful to consider, where am I doing things? Where am I repeating patterns that I didn't like when I was a kid? And where might I be being called to more? Okay. I mean, it was just amazing. It was like this mom, she was vibrant. She was shiny. She was happy. I looked at her, I was like, it seems like you're aging backwards, and she just got a smile from ear to ear. Okay. Because becoming the parent that you wished you had had. And accepting the cycle breaker invitation, I know I think it's like the fountain of youth. Nothing feels better. Nothing feels better. And I think it's because all of us, what do we all truly crave? Like, what do we want? We all want deep, meaningful connections with the people we love the most, right? I mean, I think that is the recipe for living a happy life, truly. So here are 3 takeaways and baby steps from this episode. Okay. As well as moments where I really want to pause for applause for this mom. Okay. So if your kid is acting rebellious, like this mom's was in 8th grade, right? And even when you're well intentioned and you're trying to help them, but nothing seems to be working. I'm pausing for applause for the mom in the story I just told you because she could have just argued with reality and kept trying to control her daughter. And she was looking for resources, right? So she asked for referrals. She looked around. She called me. And then she actually did the work. And she was able to, her result is not haphazard. She did the work. And that's why she now has this relationship with her daughter. So I want you to journal. I know that can be a dirty word, and something magical happens when you put a pen to paper. So I want you to journal on this question. What am I anxious about? What am I actually worried about? What is the thing? Like for me, my thing and my biggest fear and what I was anxious about was that my kids weren't going to have a happy childhood, right? That they were going to grow up and one day come back and say, thanks. Now I'm in therapy for years, although I'm a big proponent of therapy. I say that kids that go to therapy as young adults, I think it's a sign of self-worth when they proactively go to therapy and they know that they deserve to go and, and they prioritize their mental health. So that's a whole other topic. But I was really worried that my kids were one day going to come back to me and let me know all the ways I had screwed them up, how their childhood hadn't been happy. That's what I was anxious about. What are you anxious about? What are you worried about? It's a big question. So I want you to take the time to journal about that. The second takeaway, do you feel like you're a cycle breaker? Ask yourself if you consider either of your parents your person. Okay, so journal on this question. What do you wish? And this is not about blaming our parents. This is about evolution. As I tell my kids, I did it a little bit better than my parents, and you'll, God willing, do it better than me, right? So this is not about parent blaming, but I want you to journal on this question. What do you wish your parents would have done differently, right? Would have done differently when you were that kid dealing with a problem, maybe a teenager dealing with a problem, and you really could have used some helpful advice from somebody that you trusted who had a fully developed prefrontal cortex thinking brain, right? Like, what if you had been a senior in college and trying to problem solve? If your parent wasn't your person, right? What could they have done differently that would have made them your person, that would have had you make that call like this mom's daughter did to pick their brain and have them help you problem solve? What would have made that possible? Okay, so here's the third thing. What is one thing that you can say, that you can do or say today that would allow your kid to feel seen and understood rather than thinking that you're just trying to fix them, right? What is one thing you could say that would help them feel seen and understood? And here's a spoiler alert. Okay. If you can commit this to memory, when they tell you about something, you can just say, I believe you. That There's nothing that makes people feel seen and understood more than I believe you, without any yeah butting or trying to convince them to think otherwise. Just, I believe you. That makes sense. Okay. So I want you to write that down. And if it's something different, think of what could have made you feel seen or understood. What could somebody have said to you? What could your parent have said to you that would have made you feel seen or understood? And if you're like, okay, yeah, I'll have what she's having, and you want a better relationship, a better future relationship, like Gloria has with her daughter, right? And something's got to change immediately. I want you to know that we offer parents of strong-willed kids a complimentary solution session so that you can tell us about your issue and give us all the details and the specifics. And we really want to know. We really want to know. And then what we'll do is we'll let you know what program or resource we think will help. We will start to get you help immediately. Possibilities for changing the dynamic right now. Okay, so go to mastermindparenting.com/call, mastermindparenting.com/call, and you can book a free solution session. They're 30 minutes. We'll hear about your situation and you'll talk to Lindsay on my team. She's my co-parent at Mastermind Parenting, and we discuss. We are real humans. We are a small company, and we pride ourselves on getting to know each and every person that comes our way because we want you to have support yesterday. Okay. Thanks for listening this week. Bye for now. Thanks for listening today, guys. I hope you picked up some tips, tools, maybe some baby steps for creating more balance and boundaries in your life. And I just wanted to let you know, if you want to continue moving the needle forward in creating this for yourself, having a happier household, I want you to go to my website and check out mastermindparenting.com. We have 3 beginning programs. And if you need some accountability and more support, then please look for the one that would be a good fit for you. And as always, we're on all the social channels under Mastermind Parenting. On Instagram, it's mastermind_parenting. And periodically I do pop up on different Instagram lives, Facebook lives, where I give you teaching and coaching, and I love engaging with you live to help you help your strong-willed kids so that they can feel better, because when they feel better, they do better. And I love getting to know you guys. So thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Super, super appreciative.